Good evening. The time is now 5 p.m. and I would like to welcome you to the July 29, 2026 regular business meeting of the Fort Sam Houston Independent School District Board of Trustees. My name is Andrea Nicholas, and as board president, I have the pleasure of calling this meeting to order. Please note, this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. For this reason, I ask that you please silence your cell phones. And if you must take a call during the meeting, please quietly step out. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees being held in front of the public, which is not the same as a public hearing or meeting for the public. The board and the district appreciate the interest of our constituents and welcome you to our meetings. However, in our Board of Trustee meetings, only the board members and members of the administration who are providing information to the board should be speaking during the course of the meeting, except for the portion of the meeting designated for public input. Should any audience member have a question during the course of the meeting, please do not interrupt the meeting or interject your question or comment in the middle of the meeting. Instead, please raise your question or concern with an appropriate person at the conclusion of the meeting so that the board can conduct our board business without interruption. It says, please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Agenda item number 2. With 5 of the 5 board members present, I declare a quorum. Let the record reflect that the following board members are present. Colonel Rebecca Zanate, Vice President. Colonel Retired Aaron J. Braxton II, Secretary. Master Sergeant Jason Strickland, Member. Willie White Jr., Member. And of course myself, Andrea Nicholas, as President. I digress. If I can go back one. When I stated all 5 were present, I just want the record to reflect that we had 2 reappointments for myself, Andrea Nicholas, and Colonel Zanate back to the board. And we have our new member, Mr. Strickland. He's the new member to our board. So I just wanted to make that clarification so that people know he is a part of our board, and welcome.
Thank you.
Public comment. Board policy BED local sets out for the requirements for the public comments portion of a meeting. During regular board meetings, public comments may address any topic, whether posted on the agenda or not. During special called meetings or work sessions, public comments are limited to the items posted on the agenda only. To participate in public comment portion of the meeting, members of the public must sign their name on the sign-in sheet no later than 5 minutes before the meeting is scheduled to begin, and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. The sign-in sheet will be placed on the podium in the Professional Development Center located at 1908 Winans Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78234. We do have someone signed up to speak, so therefore I must read rules of engagement. Fort Sam Houston ISD public comment, information, and guidelines. A meeting of the Board of Trustees is a meeting of the board in public, not a public meeting, which is to say that audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the public comment section of the meeting. At all other times during the meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board. 2. During public comment, the board may furnish specific factual information or recite policy, but by law, the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda for that meeting, and any deliberation or discussion by the board will occur during discussion of the agenda item and not during public comment. 3. During regular board meetings, public comments may address any topic, whether posted on the agenda or not. During special called meetings or work sessions, public comments are limited to the items posted on the agenda only. 4. In order to participate in the public comment portion of a meeting, members of the public must sign up with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the meeting is scheduled to begin, and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. 5. Individuals may be given up to 3 minutes to speak during public comment. However, when necessary for effective meeting management or to accommodate large numbers of individuals wishing to address the board, the presiding officer may make adjustments to the public comment procedures, including adjusting when public comment will occur during the meeting, reordering agenda items, deferring public comment on non-agenda items, continuing agenda items to a later meeting, providing expanded opportunity for public comment, or adjusting the time allotted to each speaker. However, no individual shall be given less than 1 minute per person to make public comment. 6. A member of the public who addresses the board through a translator shall provide the translator. A member of the public who addresses the board through a translator must be given at least twice the amount of time as a member of the public who does not require a translator. 7. The presiding officer or designee shall determine whether a person addressing the board has attempted to resolve a matter administratively through resolution channels established by policy. If not, the person's presentation shall be halted, and the person shall be referred to the appropriate policy to make resolution. A. DGBA, employee complaints. B. FNG, student or parent complaints. And C. GF, public complaints. 8. There shall be no disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. If after at least one warning from the presiding officer, an individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting, and once the individual is escorted off the premises, the person is not permitted to return during the meeting. Individuals with signs, props, or displays shall sit in the last row of chairs or along the back wall so as not to interfere with the meeting or with the public's observation of the meeting. 9. During public comment, individuals shall not use the name of district employees or of district students unless the student about whom they speak is their own child. So, our first public comment speaker is Joe Shellhart.
Good evening, board members. My name is Joe Shellhart. I'm a parent substitute teacher here in the district. I'm here tonight because I'm deeply concerned about the message being sent to our community. On June 11th, in a recording with the principal of the elementary school, She claimed she had checked and verified that parents' pictures in a Facebook post I made did not go to our school or our district. This raises a serious concern for who authorized the use of the district resources, district systems, and the district personnel time to investigate private community members among us. Parents are now asking themselves a frightening question. If I speak up, will the district investigate me next? This level of fear and intimidation is not how a healthy school community operates. When leadership chooses to investigate parents instead of addressing a hostile work environment that's driving quality teachers out of our school, we have a serious problem. We have seen other school boards across Texas remove superintendents for the misuse of school systems in order to look into parents for misappropriations of retirement funds. Those boards acted because they understood that the public trust must be protected. So I ask this board tonight, when will you act? When will you provide oversight and investigate concerns that keep being brought to your attention? I'm also calling for this board and the superintendent to schedule kind of like a state of the district. Give our community a chance to communicate with you, where we are allotted more than 30 minutes to ask you questions and you can respond. So I ask you to investigate these, right now they're allegations for the misuse of district resources, and place the principal at the elementary school on administrative leave until that investigation is completed. Our children and our teachers deserve leadership that protects them, not leadership that investigates them. Thanks.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4, achievements and special recognitions. And under achievements, it says, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the State Board of Education met on June 26, 2026, and approved the reappointments of Colonel Zanate and of course myself, as well as the appointment of Master Sergeant Strickland. So again, congratulations to you two, and thank you for joining our team. As we all know, members of the Fort Sam Houston ISD Board of Trustees serve the district as a team whose focus is meeting the need of our military children. For the record, all 3 board members were sworn in by Tyrus Timmons, Notary Public and Administrative Assistant to the School Board and Superintendent, prior to today's meeting. Specifically, Master Sergeant Strickland was sworn in on Tuesday, July the 21st. I, Andrea Nicholas, was sworn in on Monday, July the 27th, and Colonel Zanate was sworn in on Wednesday, July the 29th. Are there any other announcements? Does anyone have an announcement that they would like to make? Agenda item number 5, minutes from the regular business meeting of June the 3rd, 2026. The superintendent recommends approving the minutes for the regular business meeting on June 3rd, 2026 as submitted. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I motion to approve the minutes from the regular business meeting on June 3rd, as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of June 3rd, 2026 as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
Aye, Lou White. Aye, Aaron Braxton II.
Aye, Jason Strickland.
Aye, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 6, closed meeting as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071. closed meeting as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.074, personnel matters. The board will now move into closed session at 5:15. Agenda item number 7, board to reconvene in open meeting to consider and take action as necessary on items discussed in closed session. The board returns to open session and the time is now 5:30 p.m. Agenda item number 8, announcements, action items regarding superintendent and our board member roles, duties, and assignments. There are no announcements, action items regarding personnel matters. Agenda item number 9, reorganization of the school board. Reorganization of the school board. At this time, I would like to ask our superintendent to serve as temporary chair in order to conduct the election of the board president.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, are there any nominations for the office of school board president?
Sir, I would like to self-nominate myself, Andrea Nicholas.
Ms. Nicholas is nominated for the office of president. Are there any other nominations for the office of board president? One once, any other nominations for office of board president? Okay. All in favor of approving the election of Ms. Andrea Nicholas to the position of board president, signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Mountain.
I, Aaron Braxton II.
I, Matt Sergeant Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Thank you all.
Okay. Majority vote 5-0, nominated Ms. Nicholas as Madam Board President. So, I guess I keep going. Yep. At this time, I will like to turn the call back over to Madam President, Ms. Nicholas.
Thank you. At this time, are there any nominations for the board vice president?
I'll self-nominate for vice president.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that would like to be nominated for board vice president? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. Paper script. All in favor of approving the election of Colonel Zanate as board vice president, please signify by raising your hand, stating aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White. I, Aaron Braxton II.
I, Matt Sergeant Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas.
I, Rebecca Mountain.
Say all opposed, the same sign. However, we have a vote of 5 out of the 5 votes receive Colonel Zanate as board vice president. Do we have any nominations for board secretary?
Madam President, I self-nominate for board secretary.
Do you have anyone else? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. At this time, all in favor of approving for Colonel Retired Aaron Braxton as board secretary, please signify by saying aye, stating your name, raise your hand.
Dr. Zimmerman.
Aye, Matt Stern Strickland.
I, Willie White. I, Aaron Bright, the second.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none. With 5 of 5 votes, we receive Colonel retired Aaron Braxton II as board secretary. Agenda item number 10, superintendent's report.
Okay, Madam President, board members, faculty, staff, community, good evening and welcome back. Very exciting time of the school year. We had an opportunity to have, introduce our new teachers to the districts at our breakfast this morning. Ms. Fuller, thank you for coordinating, facilitating that as always. Teaching and learning coordinator extraordinaire. And thank you for the board members that attended. It was a great turnout. Our new teachers seem very excited to get started. So at this time, we have report from most of my cabinet department. Dr. Shanetta, good evening. You have the call, ma'am.
Good evening. We're about to start. So the T&L department presented again this summer at a Learning Forward Texas conference, and we presented on curriculum-based professional learning work around our curriculum and our high-quality curriculum. So giving teachers the time and support to learn their curriculum and learn how to give it out and understand their kids' needs is a priority, right? And so we got to present, we were chosen to present, so that was huge for us. So we got a lot of good feedback on it. We have applied and were awarded, as Ms. Novak said in the budget hearing, that we were awarded more TEA LASSO grants. And so you're going to see a lot of information come out. Lori is the LASSO grant lead for us with the LIFT program, and it's going to focus on instructional leadership. So we're going into TIA, Teacher Incentive Allotment, this year, and so providing support to our instructional leaders, AKA our campus administrators, on how to support their teachers, coach their teachers in instruction, is the focus of this grant. So when you saw Ms. Novak present the $400,000 on that, so that is what that work's gonna be on. And we will be working with Region 20 in our backyard as our vendor and support. We also have another grant that's focusing on our new teacher to the profession, a mentoring grant, and we've already started, and we have an administrator on each campus along with Ms. Fuller, who's gonna support that work, and we're very excited about this mentoring work that TA has put out, very excited. So I think it's only going to really heighten what we already have in place to support them. We are beginning to analyze our state assessment data that came in. People keep asking, what'd you get? We don't have enough data to tell you that at all. We just have with our students how they did, right? And so we're analyzing data on that. You're gonna hear from Ms. Fuller later tonight about the teacher incentive allotment. And so we are launching that this year. We are going into it. We also have a new instructional coaching group. No, they didn't all leave us. They went on to bigger and better things like different jobs and retirement. But we do have a new group, and we will make time to bring them forward to you. We have 2 at Cole and 3 at the elementary. And so they are busy right now. And then, as Dr. Bates said, induction. We're welcoming back our new staff, and we want to make sure they get their questions answered and they feel supported. I think they felt that too. That's the teaching and learning report.
Thank you, Dr. Shanetta. Ms. Fuller, I'm sorry, belay my last. Ms. Fisher. Good evening, ma'am.
So I have on my report upcoming events. I want to start off with that. We have on August 6th, popping into pre-K, where we have our pre-K orientation, so our parents become familiar with the expectations for students, for our 4-year-olds as they're coming to school for the first time. On August 11th, we have Meet the Teachers, so the parents can come over. They'll have parent orientation, and they will also have the opportunity to bring the school supplies and get to know their teacher and get contact information. On August 12th, that's our first day of school, and we will also have a Boo-Hoo Yahoo breakfast for our pre-K kinder parents. So Boo-Hoo, my kid is starting Those of you that are parents may know how hard it is for some to leave their children. Or, Yahoo, my baby's going to school for the very first time. It just depends on how you view that. We did that last year and we had a good turnout. It gives our families the opportunity to make connections with other families that are experiencing the same thing. I, as a parent, had hard transition bringing my child to school right across the hall from me, and I still had a hard time. And then again, in middle school, again in high school, and then when they go to college, right? We all experience some of those. They're always our babies. So I wanna make sure that our families are able to have somebody else they can talk to if they need to, or just establish some of those relationships, cause that's who they go through all their school year. For summer learning, I attended, McSAS, one of the conferences, with, the leadership teams. My APs were also able to go. We, learned about resistance solution. It's work by, Becca Silver. It helps identify the different types of resistance. So a lot of times we just think that there's two, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, but there's a lot of them that she identified. And due to that, we're gonna go through and we're gonna, we've created some lunch and learn sessions with our staff so that we could sit, get to listen to what some of the concerns are and get to the root of it, especially with all the changes with TIA coming along. We wanna make sure that our teachers are supported and can be successful as they go through that work. I also went to chapter 37, all of the updates for the legislation. I was gonna go last year and they canceled it because there was numerous changes, and then when it came up this summer, I made sure to go because they had better details on what's expected of administrators going through that. My instructional coaches were also able to go with Dr. Shanetta to get the learning forward. One presented with you all because she was returning, the other two were able to get exposed to what the quality of professional development that they do. And then I have posted flyers for all of the events that we have going on. PTO has posted it on their Facebook site. We also have them posted on our district website, so all that information is there.
You know, I looked at the Boohoo, I was thinking it was something with Halloween, since all the Halloween commercials are coming out, so I was a little off, I apologize.
No, I just wanna make sure our families are set up for success, having to know somebody.
Thank you.
Ms. Fisher, hey, can you turn that podium facing
Sure.
us? Yeah, I didn't wanna interrupt you when you were talking.
No worries.
So, on the first day of school, are we still doing the march? Are we still bringing, you know, lining up the
Yes,
family
we-
members and
Yes, yes, we
welcoming the
welcome our
students into the
kids.
schools?
We already have, lined up, 502nds coming, fire department will be there. We welcome our kids and make sure that they have, great support that first day of school.
And what's the time on that again?
We started, they start arriving at 7, y'all are welcome to attend.
Yes,
By
definitely.
7:15, when our kids start arriving, we have everybody in place to greet our students,
At 7.
so,
Okay.
Any other questions? All right,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Sarna.
Good evening to everybody. Good to see you again. We saw each other earlier today.
Cool.
So Cole, just like the elementary, is kind of getting ready for the new school year. You know, secondary is a little, the difference is that there's always things happening. So if you come by the school, you would have seen cheer camp, we got band camp, we got color guard camp. So everybody's doing some form of camp to prepare for the school year because we jump right in. Right now, we're registering families. New family, so if you're a new family to Cole, you're coming in to set up a one-on-one registration time with our counselors. And that's gonna happen probably this week. Next week, we'll do some, we call them prep days, where you get your Chromebook and you finalize those schedules. Week after that, we start school, so it goes very quickly. What I wanted to do today, though, is most important from my presentation, or what do we call it, report, is I wanted to introduce our two assistant principals for this school year. So Mr. Bain was our high school assistant principal. He retired, changed his number, and we'll never see him again. No. You'll still see him at a lot of our games because he did a lot of years here at Cole. He was a teacher coach, assistant principal, so he was here, a part of Cole's culture for many years. So you'll still see him around. And then Coach Dominguez was our middle school assistant principal. He's out at Natalia now. He's coaching and teaching up there.
Yep.
So this school year, I want to introduce Miss Mario Gaetan Martinez first, who was our middle school assistant principal.
Ooh.
And she's got many years here at Cole too, many years in general, working at secondary, different high schools, but she's a part of Cole's culture as well. She was a teacher with us, and now she's our assistant principal at the middle school. So we call on her a lot. She was our student services coordinator prior, so there's a lot of information, wealth of knowledge that she'll share with us. And then we got Mr. Ron Kretz coming to us from Harlandale ISD. He'll be our high school assistant principal. So you see these folks at many of our events, and that's part of our leadership team. We got a large leadership team. Everybody contributes to this, but those are the two folks I wanted to bring to today's meeting because they're gonna be a big part of where we're headed, especially with all the new stuff that you heard about. That's all I have for Cole. So
Okay.
Cole is full curtains, and we're done.
All right.
You want me to do the athletic part with Coach Norman, or?
Please, yes,
So,
go ahead.
he only has two things. So Coach Norman is meeting with some parents right now, so
Yep.
he's not available to come down here. But Coach Norman and the coaches from Randolph are working together. We all got involved at a certain point, but Coach Norman and the head coach at Randolph started talking about the rivalry game that we have for football. And that game, they were able to work out something with, I don't know what the powers were, but I know UTSA is involved to some degree here with the partnership. We're gonna be able to play Randolph at the Alamo Dome. Oh, that's a huge venue. You see how, you know how big it is. So our communities, our alumni, everybody involved with Cole, Randolph, hopefully the military community supports this, are gonna get to go watch our Cole Cougars play the Randolph Rollhawks October 16th. It's gonna be a really big event for us. If it goes really well, we'd like to do it again next year. If it goes well, then hopefully this carries forward forever, but it takes everybody's help. So we're really gonna need people to reach out to alumni and community agencies, businesses. Let's get everybody involved with this. This is a military high school rivalry here in San Antonio.
Time, I believe, 8.
I believe it's an 8 p.m. start time, so they'll open the venue a little bit earlier, but it is an 8 p.m. start time because UTSA is using the field for their practice. The field will have the UTSA end zones on it, so our kids are playing on an actual college field
Cool.
in a huge venue. So we want that to become part of the experience, but we also want to push this out as a military city rivalry, playing for the Commander's Cup, or whatever they're going to name it. But it started with an idea, and I think we're at the point where this is going to happen. You know, that's how it feels right now. Part 2 is our first scrimmage for football is August 13th, I believe. So August 13th, we're playing here at Cole. I'll get the time for you, but we're playing here at Cole. A scrimmage means it's not going to be your traditional setup, play 4 down. So scrimmage is 3 schools are going to be here. And we're going to have Sam Houston High School is one of those schools, Cole, of course. And the other school is going to be Creekview, starts at 5:30. So we'll have JV and varsity out here, and they'll run plays against each other. So that's the first time you get to hear some pads pop in. That'll happen here at Cole, August 13th. And it's a fun experience. You get to come out. We're probably not going to have the burgers going, so it's going to be just a light concession if we even do that, but it's just to come out and support the community. And anytime we do a football game, which we're talking about the October 16th game, we talk about football, but it's JRTC, it's cheer, it's band, it's marching band, it's color, it's everybody. So that's why we push this so hard. We want everybody to be a part of it. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you.
Cool. Good deal.
Dr. Tony, can I wait for you at the last, say the best for last because of your video? Ms. Rodriguez, you have the call, ma'am.
So this summer has been busy in the tech department, but I'm happy to announce that we are fully staffed,
Yeah.
thankfully. So that was a big, heavy load for the springtime. You know, we were down a couple of people, and so now we're fully staffed. We got Mr. William Zeppenfeld. He was here earlier. He's our new systems administrator, and then we have our new administrative assistant, Ms. Bea Moreno Enriquez. So I'm very pleased to say that we are fully staffed and that we can keep on trucking along. So that was a big deal. The website, if you've been to the website recently, it is upgraded and different and changed, and that has been, it's gonna be many months of continuous improvement. We moved from one program to a different program, so we're now all on Parent Square, and that's where the website is built from Parent Square, and so, you know, it's a work in progress, and the goal is to have at least 90% of everything completed by the first day of school. So, right now, there's still some that, in my eyes, it's not like pretty, right, but the information's still there. So, my goal is to have it 90% pretty, by the time we have first day of school. But like I said, there'll be, continuous changes as we say, oh, well, that maybe doesn't belong in that page, and things like that. So the navigation might take a little bit for everybody. The device distribution and digital citizenship. So we've aligned with, the summer device distribution with security protocols and covering staff and student devices. And we've also partnered with Cole so that the distribution aligns with their prep days, and that way students aren't having to come up on different days. So we will be doing that in the next week, and so we're excited to have that going on. In addition to that, when we do the device distribution, the parents have to sign a document. And so we did a little bit of a video and an introduction to digital citizenship, and so that way we can start onboarding our families, especially those with incoming sixth graders. They've maybe never had a device before, and so trying to educate the families along the way. And the goal for that is that we will have future, throughout the school year, more digital citizenship training for the families throughout. So, facility upgrades. So in the elementary school, they're getting a new PA system. And so that has been a big project that's been going on all summer, and so that's a good thing. And then additionally, we have the installation of some upgraded camera out in the football field, and so that's gonna be, Coach was real happy about that. So we were happy to help him out. We needed a camera on certain ends, and it's not safety cameras; it's more for the field side of things. Yeah. And then network security enhancements. So over the coming weeks, we will be communicating new network security protocols to all stakeholders, and the enhancements include the transition from password to passphrase requirements. So we're moving from 8 characters to more characters to make it a lot more secure in our system. And so we will also be doing some external system lockdowns that most are not even gonna really know that are happening. So just creating a little bit more secure network. And then the last thing is actually agenda item 18, and that will be the student responsible use agreement. And so that it's not changed from last school year. This version maintains existing provisions regarding AI. However, we anticipate proposing future updates as our institutional AI strategy evolves throughout the school year. So as we build certain things, then we'll bring that to you for upgrades. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
So the interface with the new design, the website, is there any interface where you pull in data like photos, bios, or would the teachers have to go back in and upload their photos and their bios and all of the above? Because we got 40 new employees as well, so.
Yes.
And so was there an interface or they have to go back in?
They have to go back in
It's
and
100%
build
back
it.
in.
And so I did send out some communication before that we switched over for everybody to copy their stuff to like a Google Drive, not a Google Drive, a Google Doc or something, so that they won't have to rewrite everything. But yeah, it's all new, completely new, so.
Yeah, because that's just for parents, right, that wanna know, you know, who's gonna be the math teacher, the science teacher, a little bio about them.
Oh, right,
So
right,
as
right.
I'm going to do the parent-teacher conferences, at least I have some type of working knowledge about who they are.
Yes.
And build upon that relationship for the good of the child.
Absolutely. So yes, every teacher will have a website, or a web page, I should say. but that they haven't received any training on that just yet. So all of that is coming, and we're gonna try to give them first some training and then some time to learn and navigate and get some deadlines so that they'll have that up for parents, but yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Sultan.
I'm here, I move that, Madam Board President and esteemed board members, we look forward to extended school year videos. And again, pictures are worth more, so I'm sure you will enjoy our littles and all the students that attended extended school year at Fort Sam Elementary. I'm looking forward to sharing their, with us. Total of 23 students that attended Sunday school year. 4 were from Randolph Field ISD, 2 from Lackland, and the remainder were students from Fort Sam. And that included students at homebound services as well as residential facilities. Questions? I look forward to those videos, you enjoy making these class.
No, they're great. I thought it was really good, really nice. It's always good to see, you know, what they're doing. You know, we never stop teaching them. You know, they never stop learning. And, it's always good to see them having fun and a smile together.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's always good.
Very appreciated.
Thank you, Dr. Sultan.
Thank you.
Madam President, board members, that is my report for the month of July.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to agenda item number 11, which is 2026-2027 official school budget. The superintendent recommends approving the 2026-2027 official school budget as presented.
We had the budget hearing, it's a balanced budget, staff are getting a pay raise, so all is good.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
Madam President, I move to approve the 2026-2027 official school board budget as presented.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor of approving the 2026-2027 official school budget as presented, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Sante.
Hi, Willie White.
I, Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Master Sergeant Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 12, consider and take possible action regarding proposed compensation plan for the 2026-2027 school year. The superintendent recommends approving the proposed compensation plan for the 2026-2027 school year. Anyone have any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the compensation plan for the 2026-2027 school year.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the proposed compensation plan for the 2026-2027 school year, signify by raising your hand, stating aye, and your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Sante.
I, Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Master Sergeant Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 13. Consider and take action regarding approval of the proposed board resolution continuing the incentive for early notice of resignation. The superintendent recommends adopting the proposed board resolution to continue the incentive for early notice of resignation. Are there any questions?
Great program.
I think we've been doing this for how long?
About
Since
5
2019, 2020.
Yeah.
It's paid dividends, so.
Yes, it is.
Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move to adopt the proposed board resolution to continue the incentives for the early notice of resignation.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of adopting the proposed board resolution to continue the incentive for early notice of resignation, signify by raising your hand, stating aye and your name.
I, Aaron Braxton, second.
I, Rebecca Sante.
I, Willie White.
I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 14, monthly financial report for May and June 2026. The superintendent recommends approving the monthly financial report for May and June 2026 as submitted. Are there any questions referenced? Did you say yes or no?
No, I said no.
Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move the board approve the monthly financial report for May and June 2026 as submitted.
Is there a second? All in favor of approving the monthly financial report for May and June 2026 as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
I, Aaron Braxton, second. I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 15, quarterly investment report for the period March 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2026. The superintendent recommends approving the quarterly investment report for the period March 1, 2026 to May 31st, 2026 as submitted. Are there any questions reference that? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the quarterly investment report for the period of March 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2026 as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the quarterly investment report for the period March 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2026 as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
I, Aaron Braxton, second. I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. We are to agenda item number 16, 2026-2027, Fort Sam Houston Independent School District Student Code of Conduct. The superintendent recommends approving the 2026-2027 Student Code of Conduct as submitted.
Questions? I don't believe there was any change.
I was going to ask a question. Was there any
No, it's not a
updates?
legislative year, so we got a break, so all we have to do is change the date and change the names. It's nice, but it won't be like this.
No.
Sure. So yeah, you guys are required to approve it.
Right.
Student code of conduct, which guides our work in the area of student engagement.
Does anyone have any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move to approve the 2026-2027 Student Code of Conduct as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the 2026-2027 Student Code of Conduct as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
Willie White.
Braxton, second. I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 17, proposed additions to the Fort Sam Houston Independent School District UIL course exemption list for the 2026-2027 school year. The superintendent recommends approving the proposed additions to the Fort Sam Houston Independent School District UIL course exemption list for the 2026-2027 school year as submitted. Are there any questions reference that?
Did you serve on the board?
No, this is not that. No, sir, no. First meeting's in August, with a lot of, yes, but yes, I do.
No questions.
All right. Excuse me. Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the proposed additions to the Fort Sam Houston ISD UIL course exemption list for the 2026-2027 school year as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the proposed additions to the Fort Sam Houston Independent School District UIL course exemption list for the 2026-2027 school year as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
I, Aaron Braxton, second. I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 18, 2026-2027 Fort Sam Houston Independent School District Student Responsible Use Agreement, the RUA, for technology resources. The superintendent recommends approving the 2026-2027 Fort Sam Houston ISD Student Responsible Use Agreement, RUA, for technology resources as submitted. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move to approve the 2026-2027 Fort Sam Houston ISD Student Responsible Use Agreement for Technology Resources as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the 2026-2027 Fort Sam Houston ISD Student Responsible Use Agreement, RUA, for technology resources as submitted, signify by raising your hand, stating aye, and saying your name.
I, Aaron Braxton, second.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
I, Willie White.
I just Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 19. TASB initiated policy update 127. The superintendent recommends approving TASB initiated policy update 127, affecting the following local policies. BJCF local, superintendent non-renewal. CAA local, fiscal management goals and objectives, financial ethics. DC local, employment practices. DH local, employee standards of conduct. DP local, personnel positions. DPA local, personnel actions, principles. DPB local, personnel positions, other personnel positions. EHBB local, special programs, gifted and talented students. FFF local, student welfare, student safety. Are there any questions about those policies?
So these policies, were changes regarding several new laws that came out of the 89th legislature. And so it required TA and other state agencies to develop new rules, revisions, guidelines, and such. So there wasn't anything that stood out, to us for it. And so if you have any questions, that's just on standard. Update 127, I'm sure 128 will be here soon.
Okay. Again, are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I recommend approving the TASB initiated policy update 127 affecting the policies that were presented by the school board president.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the TASB initiated policy update 127, affecting the previously announced local policies, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Aaron Braxton, second.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zanati.
I just Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 20, district initiated local policy update. The superintendent recommends approving the district initiated update to the following local policy. CFB local, accounting/inventories.
So the federal government recently made a change in the definition of capital equipment, raising the threshold from 5,000 to 10,000. So to be consistent with any federal monies that we receive versus local, it's easier if we adopt it across the district, increasing the definition of a capital asset at something valued at $10,000 or more per unit.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the district initiated update to the following local policy, CFB, local accounting and inventories.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor of approving the district-initiated update affecting board policy CFP local, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I Rebecca Simondi.
I, Aaron Braxton, the second.
I, Jason Triplett.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 21, teacher incentive allotment overview. The agenda item is for information only, no action is needed.
Ms. Fuller, good evening, you have the call, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome back to another school year. So I'm just going to go over the teacher incentive allotment for the school year, which we're beginning. So we're going to start with, this is just the background to it. There's several points on there about how it started in 2019. And then this gives you the basic idea of the things that are supposed to be included in every district's plan. The one thing that I want to point out that a lot of people don't know is every district writes their own plan, so every district's plan is slightly different. So you come, even if you come from another school district with a designation, you bring your designation with you, but the way that we carry out the plan can vary wildly from district to district. So we're going to talk to you tonight about what our plan is for this coming year. So this is just what the ESC 20 looks like. This was as of May of 2025. They didn't release the new designations until June. So you see who's been designated, etc., and who haven't applied. We got our acceptance on June 2nd, 2026 of this year. So I was very happy because I was very nervous. Took us almost an entire year to prep just to write the application because there's so many parts of it that have to be included in that. Okay, so one goal, many paths. What does the teacher allotment do? So the purpose of the program from TEA is to recruit, retain, and reward high-quality educators. And TIA, it's not a grant program. It's actually written into legislation and Texas Education Code, so it's not going to go anywhere. And I mean, if you look at the state, every year we'll release the numbers about how many teachers were rewarded and what the total number of incentives paid out were. So we wrote our plan, but it's also included in other places. So it's in our 5-year strategic plan, first of all. It mostly lives in the talent strand because recruiting, retaining, and rewarding is part of what we want to accomplish with the 5-year plan. But it also lives in the academic experience strand because that strand talks about bringing our students to 100% of our students to grade level expectation or beyond. And part of the way you do that is by rewarding high quality education, what's happening in those classrooms. You'll also see it living in our district improvement plan in goal 1, which is all about recruiting and retaining. And as we go through the plan this evening, you'll see the different parts that work towards especially recruiting and retaining teachers. And TIA also supports many other districts, everything that we do that supports growth. So curriculum-based professional learning is supported in there. The LASSO grants that we have, as Novak mentioned, those all go towards growth of the students, growth of the teachers as well. So it's interwoven in a lot of different places. And so that's why the little picture at the top, as teachers grow, the students grow, and as the students grow, the district grows. And so it all works together to kind of bring us to where we want to be. This is the timeline. So we spent the whole last year writing the application. The stakeholder committee, which you'll see at the end of the slideshow, is predominantly teachers. We had a very nice sized group, about 20 people, all volunteered, and every single part of the plan has to go through the stakeholder committee, which means that the teachers really wrote the plan, okay? We're in data capture year, or we're about to go into data capture year. Data capture means that the teachers will spend this whole year learning how to write student learning objectives, which I'll talk about briefly in a minute. Then they're going to be submitting 5 artifacts of evidence of growth throughout the year. And then they have other parts of their appraisals are part of it as well. And then what we do is in the summer, so from May 2027 to September of 2027, we have to gather, correlate, analyze, and designate all of our teachers. That's going to happen next summer after we've collected data for the entire year. And then we send that to be approved. That goes from October till about April, and then the teachers will start getting their first payouts in 2028. And I know it seems like a long ways away, but it'll go, for those teachers, it'll go faster than you think. And then the next 2 years, we just continue doing the same thing, and we continue to have a stakeholder committee. So one of the things that they will do as we go on and continue to meet is we'll look at different ways, that you can enhance the program. There's a lot of new things coming through TIA. They want to include principals in it. They want to include other non-instructional people in it. So Texas is all in on TIA. So that's where we are in our timeline right now. Okay, so this is our spending plan. As I said, this was written solely by the teachers, but the TEA does give us a few guidelines. They say that the teachers have to get 90% of the money, and 10% goes to the district. And what that 10% does is it helps run the program. Now we only have a handful of designated teachers right now from other districts, so we aren't getting really any money just yet. So, but we pay them. And then teachers have to be paid by August 31st, all of the funds have to be gone. So what the committee decided is they're gonna get their 90% allotment in their first August paycheck in August 2028. So this is the plan that was written by the teachers. One of the things that I wanted to point out too is so our stakeholders, they decided on the 90-10, and that 90 would go to the teachers, because you can take pieces of that 90 out and give them to other groups, but we don't have anybody this year. But one of the things that I'm very proud of that we did is that when a teacher leaves the district can decide, do they get the money they earned? So if I earn a designation, but I decide to retire, the committee decided that you will still get your money for that year. A lot of districts do not do that. They retain that money. They don't get it if a teacher retires. So what our committee decided on was that every teacher who finishes their contract and either resigns at the end of the year or retires, and any teacher that has to leave between February and May due to a military move of some sort, they are still going to get their money. We will forward it to them wherever they go. That is not common in districts. Most districts retain that money. So I was very proud of the committee for that commitment to the military. and to the fact, and for rewarding people for the work that they did do while they were with us. So I just wanted to share that piece for that one. By the way, the spending plan is also the only thing that the board actually has to approve, but you don't have to approve it until we get ready to spend the money. So I'll be here in about 18 months asking you to approve the plan, so. This is just a big, high overview of the designations and about how much money you get, based on lots of different things. It's based on the number of eco-disc kids in your district. It's based on your scores, which I'll show you in just a minute. It's based on what teachers get on their appraisals. It's based on what kind of school district you are. It's based on if you're high needs, low needs, if you're rural, all kinds of things like that. The other thing that I'm very proud of that almost no district ever does is we are starting with every single one of our teachers eligible. Most school districts either do only STAR teachers, STAR test teachers to start, or they only do reading and math. Every single one of our teachers, interventionists, special education, every elective, JROTC, PE, foreign language, everybody is eligible. It's a big lift, and this year is going to be interesting. But it's something that I'll just say, Dr. Shinetto is committed. Because we're going to do this, everybody's getting it. So the one thing though is the designations do have to be earned. We don't just give teachers a designation. And these next two slides explain what we mean by that. So this is the balance. 60% of the teachers, I'll say score for lack of a better word, is 60% of it is based on how much they get their students to grow. We're doing student learning objectives, which is how we got everybody eligible. So the teachers are gonna learn how to write them. They had a little bit of a preview in May about how to write a student learning objective. It's pretty involved. They have to write a statement that includes foundational skills that take the entire year to develop. And then they have to pick 5 artifacts that prove or show student growth throughout the year. And those get submitted and they have to be rated by independent raters, and so there's a lot. And then whatever their T-test domain 2 and 3, that's instruction and learning environment, whatever their scores are. So that's 40%. You see on the bottom it says a master designation requires you to get a 4.5 on your T-test and a 70% growth outcome. So where we got those numbers from is this. These are the statewide performance standards. You can go higher, you should not go lower, but we decided since this is our first year, we're just gonna use the Texas standards as our baseline. It shows you the 4 different designations from acknowledged to master. Tells you about how many teachers per district, for the state, get that. So you can see that a master teacher is only the top 5% of teachers in the entire state of Texas. And then your T-tests, again, domains 2 and 3, you can either do the averages to get the 4.5, et cetera, or you can do the 90%, 80%, whatever. And then how many of your students either met the standard or exceeded the standard. And the teachers have say in what the growth standard is. So they say, well, if they're gonna take this skill, this is where they should be after 1 full year of growth. And so they meet that, they work on those together. And then they submit that, and then they start submitting their artifacts. This was our committee people, and this group will continue into the following year, this coming year, but we need to add some people as we had some retirements on that, on the list and stuff like that. So our committee will then go and they'll help lead as we move through the next year, and that is the teacher incentive allotment. I gave you some resources also. The TIA website is my website that I built for the teachers. Then they have the two, Texas ones, and then the TIA handbook is our handbook. And don't give them to the teachers yet, cause they don't have this yet, I don't give it to them till Monday, the 10th. So and I go over the entire plan in much more detail with them on August 10th, so hopefully they're all excited.
So when can they start, receiving this incentive? This school year?
No,
or
2028
2028?
summer.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll get it in their first paycheck.
August first.
We don't pay on August 1st, we pay on the 15th.
And the source domain I saw was Texas Teacher Education Support System, but we don't use that performance base for.
No, we do, we use
T-test.
T-test.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to use T-test or you have to make up your own, and we didn't, that's been around for years,
Yeah.
but we don't have it. It's called the local designation system, we don't use that, we use T-test.
So I know that, the teachers are gonna be setting the standards, for their growth plan. Is there a, baseline in which they must, a minimum? Like for instance, if I say that the reading is gonna be increased by, 30% or 15%, is there a minimum? Can anybody try to lowball their score?
You can try, but you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot.
You shoot yourself in the
Yeah,
foot.
because, it is, I do not wanna get in the weeds, cause we will be
Right.
here all night. It's a pretty complicated process, but what you're doing is you're taking your cohort of students and you're putting them in 5 levels, from below expected, middle is at expected, the highest level is 2 levels above that. And what you do is you need to figure out from your kids where they are at the beginning of the school year, where you think they need to be. And so that means every kid grows. From the kids who start out below average, they might never make it to the highest level, to level 5, but if they grow 1 or 2 levels through the year, they still, their data shows that, and they're put in for a designation. Because every student grows. They might not all meet grade level, and some kids are gonna start out above grade level. So every one of those kids is still eligible, because that's what a teacher's job is, to grow every student. But it's complicated, it's
Yeah.
a lot. You could come on August 10th and listen. I expected more enthusiasm there.
So this isn't gonna turn into a best writer wins kind of scenario. This has been gamed out to where somebody can't play the system just to get a higher level award.
It's pretty difficult to do that, because it's once it goes through our system where you have to pick your 3 foundational skills, you have to level all of your kids in one of 5 levels, then you have to track their growth. And the thing is, it has to be sustained growth. So if you put me in level 1, and in May, I'm in level 2, which is where you said I should be, but all throughout the year I sat at level 1, and I only hit level 2 in May, I'm not eligible, because that's not sustained growth. That's just it's not about the end, it's about growing the kids all year. I'm not smart enough to game the system, I'll tell you that, because beyond all this there's formulas and all kinds of things about how you figure these things in. I'm sure there are some people who have tried to, but I mean, like I said, I think you end up shooting yourself in the foot. Like if you say, oh, I'm gonna pick my highest, my GT class, I'm gonna use them for my teacher incentive allotment. Well, then what happens is you have all above average kids that you have to get even more above average by the end of the year. And then you say, well, I'm gonna lowball, pick all my low kids. Well, what if you have kids who can't get to the next level
So
because
are
of...
teachers allowed to pick their own pool of students that they want to use for this?
They do, but they have to be approved by the administration first.
So there's a lot of independent checks as well.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
artifacts, and then you said an independent reviewer goes over everything and submits.
We also have an outside,
Yeah.
Texas Tech. Is
Mhm.
it Texas
Texas Tech does our
Tech?
data,
They do our data, so there's a lot of checks and balances. It's
but
gonna
our slows
Slows are.
go through Region 1.
Yeah, we just did a contract with them.
Yes,
Yeah.
because, so what Region 1 does is Region 1, they will get all of our artifacts, and all they'll see is the artifact, what the teacher said, how the students should grow,
and a student identification number. They don't know what district it's from, they don't know anything about the students, they just look at, this is what the teacher said is growth, this is what the artifact I'm looking at. And I mean, when we did practice, trainers and stuff, we looked at everything from welding classes to cooking classes to self-contained special education classes, and about how teachers chart that growth. But the process to write their SLO takes almost 9 weeks, almost the whole first marking period, and there are checks built in all along the way.
It sounds like a great program. Just one more thing, for
Yeah.
the designation levels, the 4 different designation levels, is that from the school-wide, or is that statewide that they're competing against for top 50%, top 5%?
That's the statewide average, there, but, I mean, if you had a clearly outstanding school, you could have 75% of your teachers at masters. That's just what the averages have worked out since 2019.
Thank you.
And so do those designations, it's, just so I understand, if this is an allotment, is it reevaluated every year, so you could be a master one year and then not the next, or do you maintain that designation year after year?
So, once you earn a designation, it's good for 5 years.
5 years, okay.
The district, so you can do it 2 ways. If I had, say, acknowledged, which is the lowest one. So if I got acknowledged, 1 year, then next year, I'm still participating. If my data shows that I'm acknowledged again, I just keep my acknowledged designation, I don't have to do anything. But if my data shows that I'm now master, then we put them in for the higher designation. We would never put them down for a lower designation. But they could just keep working and maintain it for 5 years.
So do those designations carry over, like when we are recruiting talent? Like, whatever their designation was at their school, that is something that could be considered?
Yeah, and
in the
it's a
hiring
great,
process.
it's a great recruitment tool because you carry it with you, even if you move districts. And
You just don't
even-
get the money, but you can carry
Nope,
the designation.
You get the money too,
Okay.
if the district you're coming
Coming from
from
approves it,
said
but-
you could have
right.
it, yeah. And that's what we're gonna do, we're gonna send the money with them, yeah.
I like it.
I'm excited.
It'll be interesting to see how we do, because we are a high-performing school district, it's just gonna be interesting. But it's all about growth, right? And, when kids are already doing really well, it's harder to grow. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
The
But
comment
we're
you-
excited.
Yeah, the comment that you showed that, that designation, where as long as they complete their contract, right? So whether you retire or, resign, as long as you complete your contract, then we will actually provide that funding to you.
Basically, the only way that you would not get your money is if you quit in the middle of the school year,
Yeah.
or, and then Dr. Bates and I had this conversation the other day. The only thing that is out of our control is that a teacher has to be rostered to the class that they're tracking at winter submission for PEIMS, which is in February. So if a teacher had to PCS in January, say for example, they would not show up on our PEIMS list and we could not give them the money. But that's out of our control. That's from TEA. You have to be rostered to the class in February.
Thank you.
Okay, I look forward to giving you updates.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Ms. Fuller.
Wow.
Agenda item number 22, annual resolution regarding hazardous traffic conditions for Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston students within the 2-mile radius of district schools. The superintendent recommends adopting the annual resolution regarding hazardous traffic conditions for Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston students within a 2-mile radius of district schools as submitted. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
President, I move to adopt the annual resolution regarding the hazardous traffic conditions for JBSA Fort Sam Houston students within the 2-mile radius of the district schools as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of adopting the annual resolution regarding hazardous traffic conditions for Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston students within the 2-mile radius of district schools as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Singleton.
I, Willie White.
I, Aaron Braxton II.
I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 23, resolution regarding the extracurricular status of the Bear County 4-H organization. The superintendent recommends adopting the resolution regarding the extracurricular status of the Bear County 4-H organization as submitted. Are there any
Questions?
questions? Hearing none?
Just
Okay,
curious,
yes, sir.
where does that event take place?
I mean, that could vary.
Yeah, 4-H has events everywhere, so this
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
if a student's involved in a 4-H activity, it then acts the same as a UIL activity.
Like football, basketball, they don't get counted absent or.
4-H has all kinds of different
Exactly.
programs.
It's everywhere.
But we don't have a formalized 4-H program here. It's if students are participating in with other.
Yeah, at the school district, no,
No.
but that doesn't mean one of our students isn't in a 4-H club somewhere in Bear County.
Good, sir? Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Madam President, I move to adopt the resolution regarding extracurricular status of the Bear County 4-H organization as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adopting the resolution regarding the extracurricular status of the Bear County 4-H organization as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Aaron Braxton II.
I, Rebecca Singleton.
I, Willie White.
I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 24, consideration and possible action to approve the adjunct faculty agreement with the Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service. Superintendent recommends approving the adjunct faculty agreement with the Texas Agri-Life Extension Service as submitted. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
I motion to approve the MOU with the Bear County Juvenile Justice Academy for 26-27 school year as submitted.
We're on a different, we're on
Oh,
24.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
This is the one for 4-H.
No, we just did 4-H.
No,
This is
we're
ag
going to
life.
approve the adjunct.
Oh, adjunct, yeah.
Of July.
Sorry, I was on the wrong side. I move to approve the adjunct faculty agreement with the Texas Agri-Life Extension Office as submitted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the adjunct faculty agreement with the Texas Agri-Life Extension Service as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Singleton.
I, Aaron Braxton II.
I, Willie White.
I, Jason Strickland.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? The motion passes. Agenda item number 25, memorandum of understanding with the Bear County Juvenile Justice Academy for the 2026-2027 school year. The superintendent recommends approving the MOU with the Bear County Juvenile Justice Academy for the 2026-2027 school year as submitted.
We do this every year.
Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the MOU for the Bear County Juvenile Justice Academy for the 2026-27 school year as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the MOU with the Bear County Juvenile Justice Academy for the 2026-2027 school year as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zamonte.
I, Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Jason Strickland.
Aye, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 26. Consider and take possible action to designate a delegate and an alternate for the 2026 Texas Association of School Boards Delegate Assembly.
Y'all usually do this, as you know, TexEd is happening, October 8th through 11th in Houston. And, the board usually nominates a delegate and an alternative. Y'all probably can speak more on this than I can, cause y'all go to classes, so.
So I think everyone has been, well, minus, of course, necessary, but everyone else, all of us have been delegates before, right? I think everybody had
I
opportunity.
don't think you did.
Did you?
I have not, but I will not be available for this conference, so.
I'll be the delegate.
Do we have someone to be the alternate? I'll be the alternate. So it would be my, Mr. White as the primary, as the delegate, and then myself, I'll serve as the alternate.
You get a free meal. Sure.
So I'm reading the, I am moved, so I'm to the part here none, is there a motion for approval? I move to approve Mr. Willie White as the delegate and Andrea Nicholas as the alternate for the 2026. Oh, I can't do a move.
Right, just the
One of you
names,
will have to,
just who's been selected.
on agenda item number
We
26.
just named the ones who've been selected. Just name
We'll do the motion.
Yes.
So, Madam President, I move to approve Mr. White as the delegate and Ms. Nicholson as the alternate for the 2026 TASB Delegate Assembly.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving Mr. White as the delegate and Ms. Nicholas as the alternate for the 2026 TASB Delegate Assembly, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Rebecca Zamonte.
I, Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Willie White.
I, Jason Strickland.
Aye, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Agenda item number 27. Consider and take action to endorse a candidate for the Texas Association of School Boards, TASB, Board of Directors, Region 20, Position A seat.
Y'all have her, Vita, and it was in y'all's packet, that's up to the board, collectively, if they wanna endorse her.
Yeah, who was that again? I read, who was the name?
She's
Free
from
Re-
East
Free
Central.
Re- She's from East
It's a
Central.
reappointment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
East Central.
So,
East Central.
and I did not reach out to, Mr. Giscano, the super in, East Central, so I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, because some of the time they'll come to your board meeting and they'll kind of like give their spiel on why they think they should be, placed in that position, but no one did. They've done it in the past a couple times. But-
With our state right now, they, trying to get it passed and get on, so I have to sponsor her if she was not already independent.
But I will say that she has emailed me twice about the board.
Well, she asked.
Yes, sir.
They, it had like her bio and what she's doing
Yeah.
and stuff like that in there, so. Talk to me guys, what are y'all thinking?
I trust you with it.
I mean, she
So
listed,
based on the information provided.
yeah, she lists accomplishments, she lists, she seemed very
I'm
eager
trying,
and.
I wanna say she's been around for 5 years, let's see. Right. Do I have a motion for approval for Ginger and Belay me if I'm not saying the name right, but Friesenhahn from East Central.
Move that we approve Ginger Freezer Hall from East Central.
Is there a second? All in favor of approving, endorsing the candidacy of Ginger Friesenhahn to fill the position on the TASB Board of Directors, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
I, Rebecca Zanti.
I am Braxton, second.
I just, sure.
I, Andrea Nicholas. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. We are to agenda item number 28, closed meeting as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071. The time is now 6:50 p.m. and the board will move into closed session.